Hello yogis, and welcome to our 30-minute yoga practice for today. My name is Katie. I am one of the yoga instructors with the JCC, and today we have a 30-minute Vinyasa Flow practice. So it's not a restorative per se practice, but it's also not an intense power flow practice, so kind of somewhere in the middle. I do recommend, if you have blocks or big books, so thick hardcover books or yoga block, so 2 of those. I mean, again, this isn't required though. And then if you have a yoga strap, that might be helpful for you. We are going to find some binds. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can also use a tie or a towel or just something that would enable you to get that stretching sensation to help you reach the pose. So 30 minutes, all levels. If you're not feeling something, that's totally fine. You can take a rest at any point. I did create a playlist for this class. You can find that on the JCC's Facebook page. If you're not feeling that, you can also just listen to your own playlist, one of the benefits of practicing at home. Or you can just listen to the silence around you or whatever the sounds are around you. So let's begin. We're going to start in a seat in a Baddha Konasana, or bound angle pose. So we typically start with this pose on our backs, but today we're going to start in a seat. So soles of the feet to touch. So first, find that nice tall spine. So head stacked over the heart, over the pelvis. And then with those feet together, you can open them up like you're reading a book. You can place your hands on your shins or wherever it feels comfortable. Maybe on your knees. So this is an external hip rotator pose. So starting to work into those hips right away. So working with the breath here, as you inhale, get that nice tall spine. And then as you exhale, feel the weight in your seat, rooted to the ground. 2 more nice breaths like that. Notice if you're holding any tension in your face, in your shoulders. See if you can relax your shoulders away from the ears and draw the shoulder blades together on your back. Gives you that chest opening, softening the hips, the belly. Now you can stay here if you'd like. If you want to get a little more into the hips, you're going to inhale that nice tall spine. And as you exhale, just hinging forward from the hips, starting to walk those hands forward. So stopping to the point where you feel that sensation in the hips. And using the breath here. Each exhale, hinging forward a little bit more. Take 2 more breaths. So from here, walking your hands back up towards you, we're going to find a full pigeon pose. So for that, you're going to stack that left leg on top of the right. And this is where one of those blocks might come in handy. So you have that left knee bent, so you have that left shin parallel to the front of the room that you're facing. Then you're going to take that right leg, find that bend, and your leg might stay here. And if that's the case, you can bring that right foot maybe to the middle of the shin. You can also use that block to assist you. But the goal here is to keep both hips, both sit bones rooted down. So stacking that right shin on top of the left. So, and when going there, you're really going to feel this in that right hip. So if it's kind of a little wonky, that's okay. You can use the block. Again, shift that out. So back to finding that nice tall spine, sending your breath to that right hip, rooting down those hip bones. One more breath. From here, hinging forward, folding at the hips. Two more breaths. So to walk your hands back towards you. And then from here, bend the knees, plant the feet. You can bring your hands behind you. You're just going to bring those knees side to side, just to shake that one off. And onto that opposite side. So that right shin is going to bend. Well, the right knee is going to bend. You're going to plant that right shin down. And this side's going to feel completely different from the other. And you're taking that left knee, bending it, planting that left ankle on that right knee. And again, if your left knee's way up here, you can use that block, maybe two, to help you. So the goal here is to get a nice stretch in that left hip. So you want the pose to feel good. Don't force anything. If you can stack both shins, great. If not, that's great too, because the goal here is to feel that stretch in the left shin. So find that nice tall spine in alignment. One more breath here with that nice tall spine. And that next inhale, lift up from the hips. Exhale, hinging forward, stopping at that edge where your hips tell you to stop. And you'll take 2 breaths here. So one more breath. So make your way back up to center. From here, coming to that tabletop position, we're going to start moving, flowing with that breath. I'm going to grab my blocks, my straps. So coming to that tabletop position, you want to find that nice long spine, stack the hips over the knees, shoulders over the wrists. We're going to find some cat-cows here. Cow-cats, as I like to say. So joints are stacked. From here, as you inhale, you're going to lower the belly, gazing forward, cow pose. Really letting that chest come forward. And as you exhale, you're pushing that mat away, rounding out through the spine, tailbone is tucked. So you really want to emphasize the upper back, spreading open, shoulders coming down for that cat pose. So flowing with your breath. Any additional movement that feels good, go for it. So maybe you just want to rock the hips side to side. Just make sure you're staying with the breath. Maybe you want to find some circles. Take 2 more cycles of breath. Excellent. So from here, we're just going to move right into our downward dog. So you just want to glance down at those fingers. You kind of want to claw into the mat almost. So that ensures that you're putting weight in those fingers. You're protecting those wrists. Hips come up and back. Downward facing dog. So why don't you start with that nice bend in the knees. So it's almost as though the belly is touching those knees. You're on the balls of the feet, and then you can just start to extend those heels towards the ground. So just pause in that downward dog for a few breaths. So tailbone towards that back ceiling. Shoulders are away from the ears. You can bend through the knees if that feels good. Walk in the dog. Walked both dogs this morning, so hopefully they have their barks out. So take 2 more breaths here. So from here, we're going to shift forward to that plank pose. So you have the option to lower to the knees. We're going to be here for a few breaths. So shoulders stacked over the wrists. You have that navel up towards the spine. Glutes engaged, strong, tailbone tucked. So from here, gazing forward, you're going to tuck that chin as that right knee comes up towards that right chest. Stay here for one more breath. Excellent. Back to that plank pose. Downward facing dog. One inhale in through the nose. Open mouth, sigh it out. Next inhale, shift forward, plank pose. So I'm doing that on that left side. So gazing forward, actually tuck the chin. You're going to bring that left knee towards that left chest. So you're trying to touch that left thigh to that left chest. So you're getting that compression in the hip, lower body. One more breath. Excellent. Step back. Downward facing dog. Inhale in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, let it out. Take a breath in. Sigh it out. So from here, plank pose, 3 breaths. Just plank. You can lower to those knees if you would like. Again, tuck that tailbone. Heels towards the back of the room. One more breath. So lower down to those knees. We're going to lower down for a baby chaturanga. Just ensure that those shoulders are stacked over the wrists. Lower down for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent work. So bend the knees. Just bring those feet side to side. You can plant one ear down. So from here, we're going to take 3 cobras. So tops of the feet pushing to the mat. You can either plant your hands underneath the shoulders or extend them out like a T for a waterfall cobra. I'm going to take that traditional cobra. So hands underneath the shoulders. As you inhale, chin is tucked. Exhale, releasing down. 2 more times. Inhale, rising. Exhale, releasing. On this last one, getting light on those fingertips. Just using that back strength. Excellent. From here, back to that downward facing dog. Gazing forward, you're going to walk your hands to meet your feet, middle of the mat, ragdoll pose. So for that ragdoll, bend your knees as much as you need to so you can relax that belly on the thighs. From there, let that head hang heavy. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. So you want to get that release in the low back. This is a nice restorative pose. You can rock side to side. Any arm variation that feels good. Maybe you just want to let the fingertips dangle, or you want to find those opposite elbows. 2 more breaths. Beautiful. Releasing any bind that you have. You're going to slowly start to roll up. Head and neck heavy. The last to rise. Making our way to that mountain pose, Tadasana. So big toes to touch or hips distance apart. Lifting up through the arches. So as you inhale, the energetic front body roots you up, lifts you up. As you exhale, your back energetic body roots you down. So equal opposite forces. Take 2 breaths. You can set an intention for your practice, for your week. Maybe send some energy to somebody. Moving on to our sun salutations. As you inhale, reaching up, looking up, upward salute. Then as you exhale, hinging forward from the hips, finding that forward fold, Uttanasana. So halfway lift as you inhale, nice long spine, gazing on the horizon. Folding as you exhale. So planting your hands back to plank pose. We've been here before, just one breath. And the next inhale, lower down to the knees. As you exhale, lower down, baby chaturanga. Inhale into that cobra. Exhale, hips up and back. Downward facing dog. One breath here. Then gazing forward, step walker, float up to the top of your mat. If you are floating, try to land nice and lightly. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding. Then as you inhale, root to rise. Reverse swan dive up towards the ceiling. Hips come forward. As you exhale, find that forward fold. Uttanasana. Halfway lift as you inhale. Folding as you exhale. Changing it up here. So from here, you are stepping that right foot back. Lowering that right knee down. Low lunge, so sun, C right here. So you might want to grab those blocks to assist you. So for the sun salutation, you are bringing that left hip back, right hip forward. You're elongating that right hip flexor. So to start, you can place your hands on that left thigh, small of your back. Maybe you want to extend the arms up towards the ceiling. Anjaneyasana, pose of devotion. So 2 more breaths. Maybe gazing up towards the ceiling, shoulders away from the ears. Beautiful. So from here, you're moving those blocks out of the way. You're planting those hands to frame that left foot. Come back to the ball of that right foot. Left foot steps back. Downward facing dog. Shift forward as you inhale, plank pose. So from here, you can take that knees down vinyasa. If you're ready for that chaturanga, you shift forward, gaze forward, lower those elbows down to a 90-degree angle. Then inhale that heart up and through, upward facing dog. Exhale, hips come back, downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale in here. Exhale out through the mouth. And the next breath, big toes to touch as you inhale. Right leg extends up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, right knee to the nose, shoulders stacked over the wrists. Plant that right foot between the hands. Lower that left knee down. Low lunge. So I fold my mat over to give that left knee some padding because I have trouble on this side. So if you need any assistance, you could place a blanket under that knee or fold that mat in half. So on this side, that right hip's going to want to jump forward. So right hip back, left hip forward. Any arm variation that feels good on this side. You're here for 3 breaths. Low lunge. Sending the breath to that left hip flexor. Maybe get a little back bend here. 1 more breath. Excellent. So from here, you're coming to the ball of that left foot. The weight's going to shift forward to that right foot. So you're shifting forward into that right foot, folding over that right leg as that left leg rises up. And then as you exhale, plant that left foot beside the right. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Folding as you exhale. And then as you inhale, reverse swan dive up towards the ceiling. Exhaling the hands to heart center. Samasthiti. 2 breaths here. Take 1 more nice breath. Excellent. Moving on to that left side. So as you inhale, reaching up, looking up. Exhale, find that forward fold, Uttanasana. Halfway lift as you inhale. Folding as you exhale. Plant the hands, step that left foot back. You're gonna lower that left knee, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. We're not gonna hang out here as long for this variation of the flow. So take one more breath. Find a smile. So from here, you're framing that right foot with your hands. Come to the ball of that left foot. Right foot steps back, downward facing dog. Take your Vinyasa flow here. Meeting back in that downward facing dog. Take one breath here. And then next inhale, that left leg rises. As you exhale, left knee to the nose, shoulders stack, plant that left foot between the hands, lower that right knee down. Low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Left hip comes back, right hip comes forward. Settle in here for just 2 breaths. One more nice breath. Excellent. From here, you're framing that front foot. Come to the ball of that right foot. You're shifting that weight forward into that left leg, folding over that left leg as that right leg extends up towards the ceiling. Then as you exhale, plant that right foot beside the left, forward fold. Just take a breath here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding down. As you inhale, root to rise up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart center. Samasthiti. Take 2 breaths here. Excellent. So from here, moving on to our flow. We have finished our sun salutation. So you're going to inhale, reaching up, looking up. As you exhale, find that forward fold. Halfway lift as you inhale. Nice long spine. Folding as you exhale. So plant the hands, step back to plank or down dog. Take your Vinyasa flow here. Maybe you just want to hang out in that downward dog. But we're all going to meet back in that downward facing dog. So from here, bring those big toes to touch. As you inhale, that right leg rises up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, right knee to the nose. You're planting that right foot between the hands. This time you're staying on the ball of that left foot for a high crescent lunge. So from here, once you feel stable in that foundation, you're going to inhale, arms extend up towards the ceiling, high lunge. So settling in, you want to have that left leg nice, strong, activated. You're sinking that right knee towards that right pinky toe. Take 2 more breaths. Can you sink a little bit lower in that front leg? So from here, hands to the hips. You're going to root that left foot down so that it's parallel with the short edge of the mat. So we're setting ourselves up for warrior 2. Right knee towards that right pinky toe. Right arm extends forward, left arm extends back. So trying to keep that head over the heart, over the pelvis. You don't want to shift forward. Shoulders away from the ears as you gaze over that right middle finger. Excellent. So from here, you're taking that right forearm to that right thigh. You're going to sweep that left arm up towards the ceiling, side angle pose. So you can use that forearm to kind of open up that right knee. So from here, you're going to extend that left arm towards the front of the room, extended side angle. So this is where that strap might come in handy. So maybe you want to grab it in that left hand. You're gonna take that left hand, reach around to that right hip crease behind you. So you're opening up that left shoulder, gazing up towards either that left shoulder or the ceiling. So from here, you're gonna take that right hand, find the bind, you're gonna reach under that right thigh, find that left hand. So still keeping that opening sensation in that left shoulder. One more breath. So release that bind. You're gonna plant both hands down beside that right foot, lower that left knee down, coming to that lizard pose from here. So walking those right toes off the mat, right heel on the mat. You either plant that left hand down underneath the sternum, take that right hand to push, gently push that right thigh away from you. Maybe you come to the outside of that right foot. Maybe gaze over that right shoulder. All the while staying with the breath. So you have 2 more breaths. One more nice breath. Excellent. From here, planting both hands down, come back to the ball of that left foot. Right foot steps back to meet the left. Downward facing dog. Take that vinyasa between sides. So we're meeting back in that downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, side it out. So on that next inhale, that left leg extends up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, left knee to the nose, shoulder stack over the wrist. Plant that left foot between your hands as you are on the ball of that right foot. From here, you're gonna inhale those arms up towards the ceiling, high crescent lunge. So tailbone is tucked. Left knee towards that left pinky toe. Shoulders away from the ears, your fingertips are nice and energetic. 2 more breaths here. Can you sink a little bit lower in that front leg? So from here, that left arm reaches forward, right arm reaches back as that right foot is parallel to the short edge of the mat. Warrior 2. So head stacked over the heart, over the pelvis, gazing over those left fingertips. You have 2 more breaths. Finding that space between effort and ease. Left forearm comes to that left thigh. Inhale, that right arm sweeps up towards the ceiling. Side angle pose. Take 1 more breath. And the next breath, that right arm sweeps up towards the front of the room, so you have that nice long line of energy from those right fingertips to those right toes. Extended side angle. So from here, finding that bind. So if you need to grab that strap, go ahead, grab it. That right hand is gonna go behind the back to that left hip crease. If that's your edge, that is wonderful. Just ensure that you have that right shoulder reaching up. You don't want to hunch over to try to get the bind. It's not the goal. The goal is the opening of the chest and the shoulder. If you have a little more space, you take that left hand under that left thigh. Find that hand, that right hand that is. But make sure you have that right shoulder extending up towards the ceiling. So take 2 more breaths here. 1 more breath. Beautiful. Releasing that bind. You're planting both hands down beside that left foot, lowering that right knee down. Left toes come off. Left heel stays on. Lizard pose, left side. So with this variation of lizard, you get that nice hip extension, hip stretch in that right hip flexor as you get that external hip rotation in the left side. So you're planting that right hand down underneath the sternum, using that left hand to just guide that left thigh away, maybe coming to the outside of that left foot. Take 2 more breaths. Maybe you're gazing over that left shoulder. Excellent. From here, both hands plant down. Come to the ball of that right foot. Left foot steps back. Downward facing dog. Then taking that final vinyasa for this practice. So you can make it a good one. So meeting back in that downward dog. So from here, lower down to your knees. Come back to that seat. So first we're just gonna find a little twist. So just finding a nice, easy seat. I'm gonna start with that right side. So as you inhale, arms extend up towards the ceiling. You're gonna twist towards that right side. So that left arm comes to the outside of that right thigh. As those right fingertips come behind you, nice tented fingertips. So you're inhaling that length in the spine. As you exhale, you're gazing over that right shoulder. Inhale, length. Exhale, twist. One more breath. Excellent. Release that pose as you inhale up towards the ceiling. Exhale, coming to that left side this time. So right fingertips come to that, or right forearm comes to that left thigh. Tented left fingertips behind you. Inhale that length in the spine. And as you exhale, gaze over that left shoulder. Take 2 more breaths. Excellent. Inhale back to center. Just one final hip opener. You're going to bring the soles of the feet to touch like how we started class, Baddha Konasana. Maybe you feel a little more open this time from where we started. So again, opening your feet like you're reading a book. The closer the soles of the feet are to your body, the more intense of a hip opener it's going to be. So we'll just take 2 breaths. And then that next breath, as you inhale, hinge forward from the hips, walking those hands forward till you reach your edge. 2 more breaths. From here, walking those hands up towards you. You can just find that nice, easy seat. And we'll seal our practice today with 2 breaths. So you can inhale, extend the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale your hands to heart center. Inhaling and exhaling. So you can place your thumb on your chest along the sternum. You could tuck your chin towards your chest. Just taking a moment, taking a breath, thanking your body for carrying you through your practice, through your days. I hope that you have a wonderful week and that you are feeling well. I hope to see you soon. Namaste.